Man City are set to announce the signing of Abdukodir Khusanov from Lens for £40 million. But who is he and what should you expect from the young centre-back? Hello and welcome back to INMR, where in today's podcast I'm going to be explaining why Man City needed Khusanov. In 2023, Khusanov joined RC Lens in Ligue 1 from Belarusian club Energetic BGU for just €100,000. When he moved to France, the young centre-back was unknown, but 18 months and 31 appearances later, he has made a big impression on the rest of Europe. The Uzbekistan international is a strong, aggressive centre-back who stands out for his out-of-possession qualities. He does attempt to push his team forward with progressive passes, but he's also quite limited on the ball and would generally err on the side of caution when it comes to ball progression. Looking at the 20-year-old's progressive pass map, very few of his forward balls go towards central destinations, with the vast majority being spread out to the wings, where you're unlikely to find much opposition pressure. He has played some well-executed diags forward, which we can see from this graphic. Lens have primarily played with 3 centre-backs this season, switching to 2 in some more recent games. At the beginning of the campaign, Khusanov was deployed in the central centre-back position, but he has also spent some time at both left and right centre-back in that back 3. However, his profile and skill set make him far better suited for the central centre-back role where he started the campaign. Khusanov has also played in a 2 centre-back partnership and performed quite comfortably, so he shouldn't struggle in that setup under Guardiola. The majority of Khusanov's defensive actions have come quite deep, which is a result of him playing in that central centre-back role at the start of the season. A lot of his defensive actions in the opposition half came in games where he was playing as the wide centre-back, which is why most of them are in wider areas. Lens' wide centre-backs press aggressively to cover their wide midfielders, which is why those defensive actions are marked so high up the pitch. Wide centre-backs defend a broader area and commit plenty of defensive actions inside the opposition's half. On the other hand, the central centre-back will cover the wide centre-backs and shuffle from left to right, mostly remaining quite central behind them to sweep up any balls that make it beyond the wide aggressors. Again, that more central role suits Khusanov more, so let's analyse why that is. Khusanov has been highly impressive in ground duels this season. He's ranked in the top 13% for defensive duel success, top 8% for defensive duels per 90, and in the top 16% for defensive positioning, which looks at his tackles and interceptions. He's better suited to defending more centrally and in smaller areas than in covering larger areas due to his lack of agility. Khusanov's strengths in defending lie in his strong positional sense, ability to read the game, and crucially his timing of challenges. The Uzbek defender is also good at marking attackers and using his size and strength to his advantage. Playing as the left centre-back in a back 2 against Nice, we can see Khusanov stepping out slightly to get touch tight to an attacker who's dropping to receive the ball to feet. Here, the young defender successfully neutralised this threat as play progressed, because as the attacker tried to turn, Khusanov was well positioned to tackle. He timed his challenge exceptionally well, avoiding a foul despite getting extremely physical with the forward. He ensured he got the ball and dispossessed the attacker cleanly. This passage of play highlights strengths in Khusanov's positioning, reading of the game, timing and marking. This also highlights why he's such a good defender in tighter, more central positions, as all of those qualities I've just mentioned lend themselves to those situations. In this example, Khusanov steps out to mark an attacker while playing as the right centre-back in a back 3. Khusanov did well to spot the threat early and start getting out to close down the intended receiver. However, as play moves on from here, there's enough space around the ball carrier for him to wriggle away from Khusanov and keep play moving forward. Now, Lens are one man short in the back line with the opposition running straight towards them. So, when Khusanov wins the ball, it's great anticipation, but in the Premier League where the football is more fast-paced, he could get caught out by tricky ball carriers such as Morgan Rogers and leave big gaps behind him that could be exploited. This next slide shows a perfect example of Khusanov covering in behind as the opposition attack down the left flank. The Uzbek defender's pace and agility aren't what he's known for, but he still can be effective in these kind of situations. But if he's beaten in larger areas, the young centre-back will find it difficult to recover. With that said, his reading of the game, positioning and timing of challenges still help him to make a solid impact when required to cover in behind, which is an important part of his role regardless of whether he's deployed as a central centre-back or a wide centre-back. Here you can see Khusanov recover and deal with the threat from the opponent. He manages to get back and time a decisive challenge to perfectly end the attack. Again, highlighting how good positioning and reading of the game can combine to make Khusanov a strong defensive asset even without too much agility. Despite engaging in a relatively low number of aerial duels during his time at Lens, Khusanov has proven quite effective in them. The defender's physicality plays a role in his effectiveness in aerial duels. Here you can see Khusanov has shifted out and got tight to an attacker as the ball approaches in the air. Khusanov leans on his opponent and nods the ball towards his teammate, winning this aerial duel through positioning and physicality. In this next example, Khusanov spots an incoming long pass from the opponent from a distance and reacts early to the threat. He notices the potential danger and begins moving out to engage with the wide threat. Khusanov's ability to read the game allowed him to react early, which in turn helped him get in a position to engage and win the aerial duel that came at the end of this long pass. Khusanov's strength and aggressive mentality can be seen in his approach to try and win back possession. The 20-year-old seems to live for these physical battles, meaning he'll harry and barge attackers for as long as he needs to, or he'll step out from the back to put the squeeze on forwards, playing with their back to goal. As a result of this, his anticipation has been praised regularly since establishing himself in the Lens starting 11 this season. It's quite a common sight to see Khusanov darting in front of forwards to intercept passes or overpowering them as they try to pin him. In fact, his 26 interceptions this season is the second most of all Ligue defenders. This reflects well on him because the only player with more is Dylan Batubinsika, who's got 29, and he plays in a Saint Etienne side that is used to spending far much more time under pressure than Lens, and he's been on the pitch for almost 340 minutes more than Khusanov. Overall, Khusanov's style of play isn't without its weaknesses, however he has done very well in Ligue and could be a key player for Man City over the next few years as he continues to develop. So what do you think? Will Khusanov be a success at Man City? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. That is where I'm going to end today's podcast, but there are plenty of others you can go and listen to. For more content, be sure to check out my website, that's inmrfootball.co.uk. On there you can find match reports, live blogs, club updates and so much more. And if that's not enough, INMR is also on X and Instagram, so you can follow me on both of those platforms for more daily football content. Thank you very much for listening, and I will see you in the next one.